Hi, beautiful people. So there's a little bit of a solar flare going, so I'm going to sound a little tired, but I'm feeling up to doing the pick a card now, so I'm just going to roll with it. I might not get through the whole thing tonight, but I will do my best. For those of you who are wondering what pick a card I'm talking about, I do pick a cards and pick a piles on my Facebook page. So this is the reveal. So how this is going to work is I'm going to put the card here, the crystal here, and I'm going to read it from the book. And then I'm going to give any intuitive information that I'm getting on top of that. And if I feel the need to, I will also include other cards. I will pull some more cards to give more of a story. I'm just going to flow with that one and let us begin. So this is going to be for card number 1. So card number 1, you got the pig spirit, and it says use your mind wisely. It's interesting, use your mind wisely, and then with this it feels very twirly. So I'm getting a little bit of a overthinking vibe from this. So let's see what the card says. And this is from the Colette Baron Reid, the Spirit Animal Oracle. Okay, so 47. The pig spirit appears to remind you of the right use of intelligence, a gift we all have that is meant to be used with love, compassion, and discernment. Intelligence means recognizing the value of intuition partnered with smarts and common sense, which leads to intelligent solutions. When pig spirit appears, you are called to respect your analytical mind and use it for the highest good, recognizing that all facts must be considered even when they do not fit with what you already know. Spirit blesses us with the wisdom. Spirit blesses us with the wisdom when we allow pig spirit to speak. I start to stutter when I start to channel information. And I'm already getting info. Spirit blesses us with wisdom when we allow pig spirit to nudge us into open-minded, thoughtful dialogues. Whether with others or internally, that one is huge, the internally. As we mull over ideas and what we have come to understand, you are intelligent and capable of clear-minded thinking, shaped by the wisdom you have accumulated and the intuition that will tell you when you have more learning to do, because not all facts are in. Now it is time that your decision-making powers are reliable, for you are in alignment with pig spirit's keen intelligence. Okay, so I was just getting like a little bit of story in my head as I'm reading, so it was like I was losing my concentration on reading from the book. I'm getting, and I keep on hearing alignment. It's like I'm getting the feeling of somebody who's kind of like in a pattern that they're having a hard time getting unstuck from. And that is very hard. And it's like Spirit is coming in to say, looking at your thought pattern or patterns and seeing how they're playing a part in making you feel stuck. And finding different ways to work with them to move through them. So it very much so feels like You know how when we tell ourselves a story, I'm no good, I suck at this, I'm a terrible person, I don't know why people bother with me, I'm so stupid, like all these terrible things, but we keep them in our head. And then in order to like create a more positive pattern, we have to let that go. But we think that it's become such a heavy, intricate part of our identity that it's hard to see how to let it go. When sometimes it's just the simplicity of, I'm so stupid. Wait, no, I don't want to say this to myself no more. I don't like it when I call myself stupid. I am smart. I am intelligent. And, you know, like anything else that you're saying, like, I don't even know why I bother doing this. I'm glad I'm bothering to do this because I am learning. I like learning. I like growth. Even if it doesn't work out the way that I want it to, I like learning. I like growth. So it's like reframing the way that you talk to yourself purposefully. It doesn't just like happen. It doesn't just like happen, you know? Like you have to purposefully make those changes, and it takes time for, I think it was like 21 days to create a new habit, but it's like taking that time, taking that month to restructure the way that you think inside, to get out of the loops, to get out of the spirals. That is where your superpower is. And anybody can do this. There is nobody exempt from this. Anybody can do this. So there's not one single person who cannot. Like it's impossible to think that it's never going to, that you're never going to be able to try it. Like you can do it. I hope that makes sense. I'm just going to pull a tarot card. And the more that you restructure the way that you think inside, that internal dialogue, the more that you're going to feel that loop change, and more you're going to feel in alignment with your life. It's going to start to look a little bit less heavy and a little less stressy and a little less overwhelming and kinder and more loving and gentler. And yeah, let's see if there's another card that wants to come out. There's a clarifier. Yeah. So the Seven of Wands very much so talks about like being defensive, and it's like there's nobody really holding the wands, but they're holding the wand ready for battle, ready to like throw down, ready to fight against the invisibleness. And if anything, that feels like mentally fighting against things, people, situations, yourself, anything really. And it's like this loop, de loop. And Spirit is saying like you can flip the script and use your mind wisely to bring forward towards you the feelings and the thoughts that you want to create. You are in charge. You are in control. You are in charge. It's catching it, flipping it, and creating a pattern with that. It's going to take effort and intention. Okay, so that's all I have for my pile number 1. And now I'm going to go into pile number 2. Okay, so for pile number 2, we have the Seahorse spirit, watch and wait. Watch and wait. This feels very much so like pulling yourself back. From a situation. Definitely an emotional situation, especially with the Larimar. Okay, so I'm going to read from the book. If I stutter or pause, it's just because I'm getting some intuitive information. Oracle message. Hovering gracefully, the seahorse observes with the perspective of one who is not engulfed by the drama. That is definitely what I'm feeling from this one. It's like the need to pull yourself back out of an emotional situation and perhaps even observe. Observe their parts and also observe your parts. Okay, I'm going to continue. Hovering gracefully, the seahorse observes with the perspective of one who is not engulfed by the drama, remaining at a distance from all the turbulence. Seahorse spirit appears at this time to remind you the need to be neutral and gain perspective. Your message from the seahorse spirit is, not my circus, not my monkeys. Spirit wants you to know that even if you are tempted to jump into the fray and try to fix things, the best way to serve yourself and others right now is to remain calm and simply watch and see. Another message here is that whatever your query, Seahorse Spirit asks you to step back from it. Be willing to explore things from a different angle rather than a single one, and just observe what is possible. From the perspective of the position of the neutral observer, you will uncover a myriad of opportunities and a deeper understanding of what you seek and why. And you will know beauty, truth, love, and wisdom. So with this one, it's like I'm hearing nothing changes if nothing changes. And it's almost like pulling yourself back from a situation, from like being intricately laced into it even, pulling yourself back, not to, like get even more information on why they're wrong or why they suck or why this is that and do, but to pull back and to see what the situation is and what lesson is in there for you to learn. Because it feels like a rather big one and it feels very emotionally involved. If you're wanting some kind of neutral baseline to happen, pulling yourself back and maybe even learning some boundaries, how to implement some more boundaries for yourself and for them, especially if it's a relationship or a situationship that you don't want to walk away from, that you want to find solutions, that you want to move forward with. Learning healthy boundaries can only affect positively. It can only affect you positively. If you implement healthy boundaries and they have issues with that, then it's time for them to pull back and look for a higher perspective and do the changes that they need. Not putting in healthy boundaries for the sake of keeping it easier for the other person is never fair to yourself, just FYI. But this feels like a time to step back and just observe and not go in and try to be a part of the solutions. Sometimes, another thing that I'm getting, sometimes we have to let the other person figure out their own solutions. And it's part of their journey. It's part of their growth and their learning. I'm just seeing if there's anything else I'm feeling from this. I'm going to pull a card. And sometimes when we pull back, we get a different picture of what is going on. Because when we pull back and we start observing, that anchor into the situation that kind of drops away, the deep breath that you're able to have because you pull yourself back, the ease that you're able to give yourself because now you're just an observer and not a partaker. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that space. Really helpful lessons. And a lot of times when you learn to do that, you start to do it more often and you become the observer. And you try to see, yes, from your perspective, but you also try to see from the perspective of the other person, not just your own. Thank you. Ace of Swords. I am ready for a breakthrough to success. So Ace of Swords is also the Ace of Clarity. Being able to see a situation more clearly. Being able to cut the ties or cut situations out, or maybe even feelings that aren't even helpful to a situation, but being able to cut yourself free of that so that you're able to see things more clearly. If you were looking for solutions, this would be your solution. Because once we pull ourselves back and we could see different perspectives and see from a more clear mindset and not one that's so like in it, we see what we weren't able to see before, and it can be incredibly helpful. Incredibly helpful. Okay, so that's what I have for my pile number 2. Thank you for being here. Okay, so for pile number 3, we got the Stag Spirit, Take the Lead. And I'm going to read from the book. I just want to feel this first. Take the lead. This feels like something that you want to do and have had to learn many lessons to get close to that point, and it's almost like the spiral effect, right? It starts to come in. So it's like you get so far ahead, and then you might have felt like you were going backwards, and then you get so far ahead, and then you feel like you're getting backwards, and then you go so far ahead, but then you feel like you're going backwards, but the whole time you're slowly creeping up. It's just that spiral effect of learning and growth. And that might have felt really frustrating for you. Frustrating and maybe even like intimidating, overwhelming, because it's like, hey, if you're a shy person or kind of timid or like to be in the background, and Spirit's like, we're calling on you to be more of a leader, and you have to literally push yourself out of comfort zones. That's a lot of work, and absolutely it would be in a spiral form. That will not be linear. And it feels like for those who chose this pile, you should know, like, you're doing a really, really good job. No matter where you are at that spiral, that's a lot of hard lessons to learn to come out of a comfort space and to come forward inch by inch or mile by mile. It takes a lot of intention. It takes a lot of inner work, introspect, a lot of introspect, and a lot of facing your comfort zones and why they're your comfort zones. And it just feels like you're doing a really good job. And it feels like with this heart here, like, be so kind to yourself. Be so kind to yourself along this path. Be gentle with all these flowers that are there. It just feels like be so gentle, be so soft with yourself as you move through this. This could even be a lifetime journey, something that you be learning for years and years and years and years and years. Okay, so I'm going to read from the book. Take the lead. Whether or not you have set your intentions to lead, you may have found yourself suddenly called to step up to the forefront of your life. Stag Spirit is a reminder that now is the time to heed the call to be sure, strong, and compassionate. Others will look to you, and you have it within you to see through the eyes of the Stag Spirit and walk with confidence as you take the responsibilities that are yours now and model integrity in all that you do and all of your relationships. Be willing to see the best in others so that your compassionate heart keeps you on the right path. Stag Spirit wants you to know that your responsibilities now are to yourself too, for you are learning and developing new skills. The best in you is coming into view as you step forward with strength, knowing that Spirit supports you as you compassionately take the lead. You are a model for transformation now, sharing your experience, strength, and hope with others so that they may grow and discover their best selves too. What a gift you are. Stay humble and authentic and walk your talk, for this is how a wise leader leads. That's really beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. Now I'm just going to get a card. Thank you. Page of Swords. I take care of the detail and stay in control. If anything with this card, it feels like maybe doing a little bit less of that. Less control. Less worried about details. So it's interesting. It's like, it's like there's butterflies. I'm just going to bring it up. It's like there's butterflies all around. And a feather, which for me, that's spirit. But look how tight they're holding on to that sword. They're holding on to that sword so tight. And that's what I'm getting from that card. It feels like the more you lose the control you think that you need, the more flexibility, the more flow, the more cooperative energies, compassionate energies, not just to yourself, but to others, and that integrity that you hold towards others, not keeping it just in like your view, in just your view, but a leader also takes account other people's views, other people's perspectives, other people's, this might even be a separate message from this. So if it doesn't resonate, that's okay. If the first part resonated, that's okay. But it feels like there's butterflies of transformation that are happening for you. And you're not going through just like one change. You're going through several changes. And holding on too tightly to thinking patterns or thoughts and beliefs, and not being a little bit more flexible, trying to control, that might backfire a little bit for you. It's like being the leader, you are also, the teacher is also the student. And not to forget that. The teacher is also the student. And then I heard be more present. So it's like less control on how you think things need to be or go, and just be more present and flexible and flow with the changes that are happening for you. Easier said than done. Sometimes we have moments. If you have those moments, bring in that self-love, that compassion, because those moments are also teaching us. They are also necessary. They are also good. Okay, so that is what I have for pile number 3. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, pile number 4. Okay, Fox Spirit, and it came out reverse. Think on your feet. With the Bumblebee Jasper. It's like, with this pile, it feels like you feel like you're missing something in order to do something. Or it's like something that you're not doing or not able to do or not happening for you in order for you to be able to do something. So let's get into the meaning from the book. Are you camouflaging yourself to avoid intimacy? Perhaps you are being too clever for your own good and playing games to protect yourself. Being dishonest with yourself or others can become isolating and create obstacles to true connection. Fox Spirit calls you to attune to what is happening within you and around you, so that your quick thinking and creativity can lead you to better relationships and situations. You are called to use the Fox Spirit beneficially rather than in ways that keep you from experiencing what you want. It's that one. It's like you're keeping yourself from experiencing something that you want, but it's like you feel like you just don't have that thing that you need in order to go and get the thing that you want. Okay. Or perhaps right now you are realizing that a situation is trickier than it appears on the surface, and you are afraid to make a move in case it turns out to be a mistake. Fox Spirit is here to remind you that when you are in alignment with the Great Spirit, the answers and solutions can come quickly, and you can trust them. Don't overthink a situation in order to avoid the challenge of facing a difficult truth. Fox Spirit's creative nature will always be there to guide you and help you move quickly into better circumstances. Okay, I'm just going to get a clarifying card. Thank you. Yeah, we got the Hermit. I follow my own path, and we got the Hermit, but we also have The Eight of Cups that I am definitely going to take into account at the bottom of the deck. I accept my situation without resistance. It's like that's what you're coming to the realization of. Sometimes we want to avoid the really, really hard things because we feel like we just don't have the power to change or the strength to make the changes happen. And then we can kind of get stuck in this cycle of avoidance. Everybody's been there at least one time in their life. It's nothing to shame ourselves about, myself included. And it's like that avoidance happens when it feels like it's too scary. So it's interesting. Something that I learned about anxiety and excitement. They both kind of feel the same in the body. You start to get like that excited, the gut flippy feeling. Sometimes it's not anxiety. Sometimes it's excitement. And feel it like when that happens, sometimes we might shut down from making the changes that we need. And that anxiety or that excitement starts to turn into anxiety because now you're not flowing with your own alignment of change, your own alignment of excitedness for change and doing something different, getting out of this hermit phase or the stuck phase or like wherever it is or whatever it is that you're dealing with. I am feeling for some of you a little bit of an addiction energy here. Absolutely never any judgment and all of the love. Making changes is hard and it requires work and effort, and you can be the change that you seek. So I'm not going to preach too hard. But it does feel like with this situation, because now they're bringing me back to the Eight of Cups, it's like the Eight of Cups is where you take one of your cups and you're walking away. You're walking away from the rest of the cups because they're not full. They don't have anything to offer you anymore. It's not emotionally fulfilling. It's a situation or an experience or lessons that you're ready to move away from. But it feels like there's either a lot or that one situation that you want to move away from has a lot of baggage to it, has a lot of aspects to it, so it feels complicated. And when things get complicated like that, it absolutely can make it really hard to make the changes, to take the steps, to move forward in the direction that we want to. It is absolutely easier to go into that hermit mode, but nothing changes if nothing changes. And with the Bumblebee Jasper here, it does feel like you have what it takes to do what you need to do to move forward and to see how self-sabotage might be making the situation that you're in, even though it's a hermit mode, worse and make it feel worse. And it could be accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. And it feels like somebody who is having a hard time with letting go and moving forward. So that they can be happy too. So that they can be happy too. But there's resistance. And as much as like being in the hermit stage and being in that like self-sabotage stage sounds absolutely horrible and you might want to like beat yourself up for it, please don't, because in that stage, the hermit stage, you're also doing that introspect work. You might not see it, but when you go through the hardest times of your life and you show your own self, your own light that helps you move forward and through, it is absolutely incredible. It's incredible. So where you're at right now, please be so kind and gentle to yourself. But it does feel like Spirit is saying you do have what it takes to make the steps necessary to move forward towards loving yourself, healing yourself, finding more joy in life, finding more, maybe even pride in life, more self-love and self-care, and learning to walk away from the things that are holding you back. That in itself is bringing you to a huge transformation. You will not regret going through that transformation and where it brings you. You will not regret it. But I know it's scary. And Spirit is saying step by step. You don't need to race forward and do it in 2 seconds. But taking steps is necessary at this point now. Step by step. Okay, that is all I have for my pile number 4. So much love to you. Thank you for being here. Okay. For pile number 5, I'm just going to close my door real quick. Okay. Pile 5 with the cat spirit. Black tourmaline. Claim your independence. I'm just seeing what I feel first. It's like I feel authenticity in this one, like claiming your independence, but like claiming your authenticity, who you are. Being who you are. Not who you think you need to be, but who you are. Okay. So I'm going to read from the book. When cat spirit meows, she is calling you to claim your independence and allow for some space between you and others in your life. The only way you can grow in all your relationships now is to have a healthy sense of self-respect and self-worth. When you walk with dignity, knowing who you are, self-aware and willing to grow, trusting the value you bring, the world will mirror all this back to you in kind. When you say no to codependency and enmeshment, live and let live, and practice taking risks as you wander into new territory for you. Cat spirit rejoices. She is here to urge you to let your independent spirit roam free. It feels like learning to be your authentic self. And it feels like, like when we're around people all the time, we start to dress like them, we start to act like them, we start to think like them, we start to it's like, what was that word in that book? Enmeshment. It feels like pulling yourself back a little bit and really honing in on what is authentically you. And maybe not trying to do something that you think you need to do in order to be a part of that group. I don't know. It's coming through that way. Can I get a clarifier, please, Spirit? Not that many. Thank you. Page of Pentacles. I am open to opportunities for personal growth. That's what it feels like. Very much so. It's like allowing yourself to be who you are. There's something underlining on this one, and I'm trying to catch it. I just heard, be your unique, bubbly self. Be your unique, bubbly self. So for whoever that resonates with. But yeah, like if you are... It's interesting. It feels like when this energy, for whoever this is, when you're around people, it's like you change in a way to either feel more comfortable with that group or to feel more a part of that group or in alignment with that group. But it's like Spirit is saying you can detach from that and allow yourself to grow into your own version so that when you are a part of that group, you are more you and less them. And like most of us go through these stages, sometimes several times in our lives. Like there's no shame in this stage whatsoever. Like when we're young little kids, oh, the teacher is, do, so we better listen. We got to, we can't giggle when the teacher's, do, like whatever it is for you, whatever situation. But it's like we've learned how to enmesh with others since we were young. So if this is happening now, like it's just a something that you learn to do. And Spirit is just being very, very gentle about it's okay to pull back and to figure out more of what your alignments are, what your interests are, especially if you're feeling like, I don't know where to go with this. I'm trying to do this and this and this, but it's not leading me. It's not making me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like it's not hitting that mark. It's not clicking that button. And it feels like just pulling back from people that you might have to put on a certain brave face for. And it's interesting I say that because like brave face, like maybe you're going through something quietly, and then when you're with them, you're a different person. And I just heard large and in charge. Take it as you will. And then when you're alone, it's like there's different things going on, and it's like who you are authentically is good enough. It doesn't need to be hidden, but as I say that, I also want to respect we have walls like that for a reason. And I think I had this in the other spread that I did last week, I do believe. Our walls are there for a reason. We put those walls up for self-protection, but that doesn't mean that we need to keep those walls up. It doesn't mean that they have to stay there forever. So we can look at those walls, pull back a little bit, and bring more of our authentic self forward and learn to feel more comfortable in exactly who we are. Because it feels like exactly who you are is quite beautiful. And like, be your bubbly self. I think that's what I said earlier. Be your bubbly self. I don't know. It was very cute energy that I felt. It feels like the more you do that, more that will come in a very free flow way, and not in a when it's supposed. I don't know. So that is what I have for pile number 5. I send you so much love. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so pile number 6. Okay. This one's making me feel a little bit sad, to be honest. This one feels a little bit heavier. And if anything, it feels like let spirit be your guide, and that being in reversed, along with the pre-night. His pre-night has epido in there, but it's reminding me of black tourmaline, and it's almost reminding me of like a heart chakra that feels a little bit heavy. And then let spirit be your guide. It almost feels like somebody who is having a hard time believing that spirit is even with them, or that they can even connect to spirit, or that they are even, spiritually able to connect or be loved, or like any of that. Like it feels kind of heavy. So I'm just going to read it from the book and then continue on with what I'm feeling. Are you noticing red flags? Perhaps saying to yourself, I just want to make sure I have the right. Are you noticing red flags? Perhaps saying to yourself, oh, what pretty flags, and giving them no more thought. Hawk, spirit has arrived to tell you to stop and listen to the message from spirit. Take the time to observe the patterns you are seeing, and do not dismiss your intuition, even if the messages you receive are not supported by evidence in the physical world. If it feels illogical to listen right now, listen anyways. Sometimes you might want certain signs and messages to mean what you want them to mean, interpreting them through the lens of wishful thinking, a projection of your desire to see things a certain way. Of course, when you do that, you rarely find yourself where you want to be. Take heart. Spirit loves you so much and does not want you to get hurt, but to align with Spirit's plan for your highest good. Listen and follow the signs, and check your motives when you're being selective with your hearing. It feels like I'm getting a little bit of sadness and depression with this one. So just please know, like, there's so much love that is coming through with this one. There's so much love that's coming through with this one. You might have, I'm just going to put my little rose in there. My little baby rose. Now I'm going to add more. You might feel like the world is against you, life is against you, everything's against you, and no one is there to help, and nothing is going your way, and everything feels impossible and really heavy and really hard, and you might even feel incredibly alone. Please know 1,000%, 1,100%, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are so incredibly loved and needed and important and valuable. You're beautiful and gorgeous and intelligent and funny and needed. You're just so needed. When we get, and I'm going to be very gentle with this one because I am not a health professional. So please do not take over the advice of any health professionals. This is popping at me too. When we get stuck in sad loops, and I have 1000% been there, it is really hard to get out of them. It's really hard to see the good when you're feeling so bad. Spirit has been around you this whole time, and it feels like you're choosing not to see that they are there so that you can keep the dialogue of sadness. And I know that sounds harsh to say, and I say it with as much gentleness as I can and with so much love. Sometimes it's easier to pretend like we don't see the good so we can keep seeing the bad. But it feels like whatever you choose to do with that is your choice, is free will. But please do not think for one iota of a second that Spirit is not around you, that you are not incredibly loved, and that they will ever leave you, because they will not. They will not. They love you so, so much, so, so much. And you are not alone, not for 1 second. They do not come in and go, oh, well, you know, like I'm trying to get her to do this and she's not doing this. So like, you know, she's being stupid, or she's not listening, or, you know, she's a terrible person, or he's, you know, being stubborn, and they don't want to do the work, or they're being lazy, or, you know, like anything. They don't do that. They don't do that. And it took me a while to trust that they actually don't do that. They come in and they go, I love you. How can I help? I am here. How can I help? And you might ask them, like, I need help with this. And they'll come in and they'll, you know, try to do their best with what they're able to do. They can't do the work for us, but they can give us guidance. And if you choose not to take that guidance, all they do is, okay, that's okay. I love you. How can I help? How can I be of service? That is it. They just do that on repeat. Their patience is endless. Their love is endless. It's only us that think that they would think terribly about us, but they do not. Spirit loves us so, so much. So, 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 so much. So I'm going to leave it at that. You are not alone. You are incredibly loved. We need you. And Spirit is never gone. They are always there. Okay, so that's what I have for my pile number 6. Okay, pile number 7. Butterfly spirit in reverse. Number 11. Transformation does not have to be as traumatic or dramatic as things may seem to be right now. Remember, change is the only true constant. When you resist it, you create a tension within you as you refuse to accept the inevitable. In this moment, you might have forgotten the beauty and joys of life as it moves through its seasons, as nature dictates. You are being faced with a choice now. You can struggle with the current conditions, refusing to surrender and see through the lens of lack and loss, or you can surrender to the grace that is calling you to allow life to take its course, moving through the sadness and disappointment. Surrender will soften you, inviting you to bask in gratitude and see through the lens of curiosity. These are the keys to tuning in to the infinite potential available to you now. Butterfly spirit knows the beauty and delight you are on. Butterfly spirit knows the beauty and delight you are on the brink of discovering. Let go and trust that it is for you. If you didn't see pile 6 and that one kind of eyeballed you, it might also be for you, but please do not force anything if it is not for you. Use your discernment. Thank you. So, oh, that's interesting. What I'm getting from this one, it feels like, oh, that's quite pretty. It feels like you've gone through so many transformations, but you might feel like you haven't, or it hasn't been enough, or no, that's exactly what it feels like to me. Like you've gone through so many transformations and it feels like you feel like you haven't, or it hasn't been enough. And then with the chrysoprase, which is very much so a huge heart chakra block mover. It might be because you have stuff still in your heart chakra, still some heaviness in your heart that's making you feel like you've gone through lots of transformations, but it's not enough because you're still feeling these feelings. That's interesting. Okay. Can I get a clarifier card, please? Woo! That one shot out. 8 of Cups again. Yeah, it's very much so related to heart chakra, but like it feels like you've gone through a lot of changes that you're not seeing that you have. You're not allowing yourself to see. And I keep looking at the zoisite, the ruby zoisite. It's like you're not seeing all that you've done. And it's like being held on to the situation, the 8 of Cups. I accept my situation without resistance. It feels like, and this came out for another pile too, by the way. I can't remember which one. It feels like you might be hanging on to a certain situation that is being held in the heart space. It could be resentment. It could be having a hard time with forgiveness. It could be anger, betrayal. Very much so could be those heavy feelings, and it's like you're having a hard time with transforming that, but you're not seeing lots that you have transformed. So I just want to make that very, like, make sure you know, like, you've done so much transformation. But you're having a hard time seeing it because of what's being held in your heart space. Moving through traumas, situations, grief, hurt feelings, it is not an overnight job. You can be so much easier on yourself with this than what you are allowing yourself to be. You can trust that you have been making lots of progress. It's just you're not allowing yourself to see it because you're focused on this. But you have. You have made lots of changes. You have gone through, like a lot of healing, a lot of transformation. And the need to give yourself some credit is really important here. It's like the more you are kind and gentle and loving towards yourself, the easier it's going to be to move through these hard feelings, these hard situations, these hard traumas that reside in the heart chakra. But like I was thinking like I needed to get into this aspect of it, but I keep on being pulled to this, and it just feels like it's the most important thing right now with this reading is for you to know, like, to take the accountability, if that's the right word, of what you have done in healing and being like really proud of yourself. And healing isn't, oh, I've done all my healing and I'm done now. Healing is lifelong. Lifelong. It does not end. But you've done a lot, and you've done some big ones. And to give yourself some credit and to allow yourself to see that so that you can move through this a little bit easier. Okay, that was really short and sweet. That is all I have for pile number 7. I send you so much love. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, pile number 8. Groundhog Spirit. Time to let go. Time to let go. Oh, and they're holding on to a heart. And then with the selenite. It's kind of cute, the energy that I'm feeling through this. It's not necessarily, how do I put that into words? It's not necessarily letting go of how you feel towards something. It's letting go of that something and coming to peace with how you feel and coming to peace with letting it go. Okay, I'm going to read from the book. 31. Endings lead to beginnings, and death is a part of life. So Groundhog Spirit is here to let you know that this is a time to accept the natural ending of something that is no longer serving you. We love to hold on to what is familiar, but the new needs space to arrive so growth can occur. When Groundhog Spirit appears, it is a sign that there is something in your present situation that you need to let go of. so that the something new can be born, something that will far better serve you now. If this does not resonate with you, pick another pile. It's okay. Do not force anything to fit if it is not fitting. When the groundhog sees his shadow, he retreats to his den. So too might you yearn for a little more time to say goodbye and transition into the new. However, change is coming and it is good. So let go of your resistance. Spirit brings many blessings, and what must die will always be reborn into a new form that will be right for you. Life requires change and detachment. Say farewell to whatever once served you and get ready for something amazing to take its place. Spirit is already sending it your way. So before I even pull another card, I feel also with this one a completely separate message. It feels like somebody who you loved very much that has passed away. It's like they're coming in and they're just trying to help you with your grief, trying to help you with your sadness. And like the time to let go, I'm not feeling that with this. It feels like with this specific message right now, it feels like a spirit that is just somebody that you loved and cared about very, very deeply, that is with you all the time. All the time. I have one of those. I probably have several of those, but I have one of those that I hold on to happily. Anyways, it feels like that kind of a situation, like somebody that you loved very deeply is with you in spirit form. And they love you so much. And they're helping you move through the grief, the sadness. I send you so much love. Okay, so time to let go. Moving forward, back to the original message. Moving forward, letting go, changes upon you. Can I get a clarifier, please, Spirit? This does have tower vibes, but it feels a little bit cleaner. Thank you. As you learn to let go and to move forward, even though it might be scary. See, I just pulled the card apart and the Three of Swords is there. That's sadness, that's grief, that's it could even be betrayal. It's sadness. As you move forward and move through and process your feelings, your self-value is going to grow in ways that you can feel very proud of yourself for. This feels very gentle. It feels very much so like somebody who's kind of hiding behind a rock, like I'm scared to do this, and spirit coming over and holding your hand and you moving slowly onto the path that holds more value for you. Like I'm just seeing that play out in my mind. It feels very gentle, very loving. You don't need to hesitate on this one. It is the best thing for you. Please do not make this resonate. If it does not resonate, do not try to fit puzzle pieces together that don't fit, okay? If this resonates with you, you will know. But it feels like moving forward and away from a situation that you're needing to let go of, and moving into a deeper sense of self-value and growth. like you'll have no regrets. It'll be such a beautiful experience for you once you get onto that path and start to feel it, and that experience won't repeat itself. And it's very short. Okay, so that is all I have for pile number 8. Thank you so much for being here. Send you so much love. Okay. Now for pile number 9. The Rose Quartz and the Deer Spirit in reverse. I'm just going to give these cards a quick shuffle. There. Bring a gentle touch. Okay, this immediately I'm feeling somebody who is hard on themselves. This is in the reverse along with the Rose Quartz. Hard on themselves. Okay, 18. Dear Spirit is bringing you a gentle warning that now is not the time to engage in argument, no matter how volatile others are being. Let me just make sure I got the right one. Yeah, interesting. Do not match their intensity with your own. If you are dealing with an overly assertive person, step back and disengage, lest you agree with something out of alignment with your interests. Don't let anyone bully you into anything you are uncomfortable with. You have a solid footing if you stand your ground with grace. Those who disagree will begin to find their own gentleness and willingness to compromise. Dear Spirit also brings a message that it might be easy to offend someone today or take offense because someone lacks diplomacy. Let all of that pass. You are not meant to take this world personally. While it is a beautiful gift to be sensitive, today you need to be a tougher hide so that any compromises you make allow you to maintain your integrity. It's interesting. I'm not feeling that from this card, so I'm going to go with what I'm feeling. But I also feel like reading that, some of you needed that. And I just heard hold your own. Hold your own. Okay, can I get a clarifier? Ooh. No, I just want one card, please. I just want one card, please. Can I get a clarifier for the Deer Spirit? For some of you, when I looked at Deer Spirit, I heard Elk Spirit. So if you want to Google what is the spirit animal meaning of elk? What is the elk animal spirit meaning? There might be something there for you. 9 of Wands. Okay, so 2 separate messages with this pile for pile number 9. One is you're being so hard on yourself. You're being so hard on yourself. And you could be so much kinder to yourself than what you have been. And then it's interesting, now it's going into the rest of what it was. Stand up for yourself when it comes to bullies, but also if you're the bully, figuring out why you feel like being in that energy is something that you need without being hard on yourself. Do it in a way where you can kind of observe yourself. Like, why do I feel the need to force somebody to do what I want them to do? Why do I feel the need to, be a bully? And then the 9 of Wands, I am strong for as long as I need to be strong. Like, it feels very defensive, very aggressive, very try to come and get me, try to come at me, and I will win. I will, I'm bigger than you. I'm no more than you. I have this above you. That kind of energy. And if you are dealing with somebody who is like that and they aren't showing signs of wanting or willing to change, maybe taking a look at why you want to engage with that and for how long, and what is it that you're actually wanting might be a good thing to go over. And with that rose quartz, I really do feel like it's relationship based. Like, it's not a situation, like a work situation. It feels like a person to person situation. It could be a relationship, it could be a situationship, it could be a friendship, family ship, whatever it is that resonates with you. But like somebody who is maybe controlling and a bully, and maybe even like strongly passive aggressive a lot. And you might be feeling like kind of smushed down. And then maybe that's where I'm feeling like the really being hard on yourself. Maybe they're kind of adding into that. But you can step out of that at any time. You can step out and away from that at any time. Even if you are the one that is holding that energy, you can step out of that energy and look at it. Why do I feel the need to control the situation? Why does it feel out of control if I'm not controlling the situation? What are solutions that work for both of us, not just me? What would be something that they are able to do? What is, what are they willing to do? What are they capable of doing? And it could also be like if you are the person who is kind of like bullying or trying to control, sometimes that happens when it's not the right situation for us. And instead of walking away, we stay and try to change them to suit what we want them to be. And that just gets harder and harder and harder to do, because we can't change nobody. We can't force nobody. We can't make nobody. And if you do for a little bit, it'll blow up in your face. It'll blow up. And it won't feel good, and it won't feel healthy. But it's like the need to put down the wands and see the situation for what it is, and disengaging from the heaviness of it, the anger of it, the control of it. I feel the control very strongly. And facing why you feel like you need to be in it. What kind of change are you trying to create in order for you to be happy with it? And is it really attainable? Is it really going to happen? If you stop forcing it, is it going to happen? Is this something that would happen naturally or on its own? And if the answer is no, you have your answer. Okay, lovelies. That's all I have for tonight for pile number 9. I send you big hugs and lots of love. Lots of love. And for those of you who watched the video all the way to the end, thank you so very, very much. I appreciate your time and I appreciate you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Please be sure to like the video. It would mean so much to me. Thank you.